y'all. So now let's get into this story. Let's talk about The View. So I'm sure y'all been hearing as of late, ABC and The View's been going through it because, they've been they're pretty much staunch. They have a disdain for Donald Trump, as many people do. I mean, even his own regime, like his own supporters are starting to abandon him. Yeah, you got the people still in the cult, but for the most part, there's a lot of people out here that feel, oh, I was conned and I'm a triple trumper and I've been duped. And he said he was going to bring down the price of eggs and groceries and all these other things, and everything's going up. And you had recently JD Vance went on The View and just act like he was completely oblivious to what was going on in the world around him. Like he had no idea that black people, like things in black museums or any kind of black history was being removed from a lot of places. A lot of black women were losing their jobs due to DEI, especially a lot of black women losing their federal jobs because of DEI and that sort of thing. And he acted like he had no clue. Mind you, he married to a whole brown woman. Usha, she ain't a cracker. But apparently he had no idea that all this stuff was going on. So he played obtuse or just dumb. Funny enough, I had somebody who didn't realize, because I would say less than smart. And they were like, less than smart is another word for stupid. I'm like, yes, it's a nicer way of saying that somebody's stupid. It's less than smart. I'm like, have you never heard that term? I'm just being nice about calling somebody. I don't want to say stupid. I just say less than smart. So when you're less than smart, what are you, dumb? Obviously. Um, so now with all of this stuff going on where Trump is going after them, and I'm glad that ABC has not bent the knee like the idiotic Ellisons have over at CBS. Now we're hearing the news that they're trying to steamroll really quick this merger between Paramount and Warner Brothers without all the people going in and dotting the I's and crossing all the T's to make sure there's no kind of craziness going on. And now we got the Department of Justice trying to push all this stuff forward. And Barry Weiss, that four-eyed cunt, can't wait to get her hands over on CBS so she could ruin what's left of that, just like she already ruined CBS News in fucking 60 Minutes. And then people sit up here trying to act like, well, I don't think that's what they're going to do. I saw the writing on the wall from the fucking beginning when they started bringing certain people in and what they stand for. This is all to appease this president because he's thin-skinned, because he can't take constructive criticism. The man sharts on himself in real time whenever you're in a room with him. He has to wear a goddamn diaper at 80. His mind going bad in 4K and in real time. And now when anybody says anything remotely about him, especially them over there on The View, which Whoopi Goldberg refers to him as you know who, now we got the FCC, Jeff Carr, fucking ass, and the rest of them over there are trying to go at ABC. And so now what ABC has done is they've opted to include the studio audience into the drama conflama that's going on over there, meaning like it's up to y'all to help send stuff to the FCC to get up off the back of these ladies. So if y'all love this show, and y'all do know that The View is one of the highest rated daytime shows, I think it's number one over there, which ain't saying much because a lot of shows got canceled in daytime, and that's no shade, I'm just saying. But with all this being said, it's like it's throwing people through a loop and then asking for the people's help against Disney in their fight with the Trump regime. So now, in a new campaign that launched on Monday, the entertainment conglomerate urged the audience tuning into The View to offer public comment as the company grapples with unorthodox pressure from the Trump regime. The Federal Communication Commission, aka FCC for short, led by Chairman Brendan Carr, who was in Trump's pocket, so you already know that anybody that tries to go against him, you already know what he stands for, ordered Disney to file for renewals for 8 of its stations years ahead of schedule, which means that you're trying to prevent them from getting on certain stations because you already know with the reach what's going to happen. Well, if they don't get those stations, what y'all going to have to do is watch The View, either get Hulu or YouTube, because they do upload the clips and they upload full episodes of The View on YouTube. But if a lot of y'all, and I know there's a lot of people with certain names that watch The View, if y'all not internet savvy, then y'all got to get the calling. Y'all call about every goddamn thing else, get up on there and save y'all little show. So They said in filings, Disney has said its applications were made under protest in response to an unlawful, arbitrary, and unconstitutional order. The View, which has thrived in recent years with discussions of politics, has also found itself in the the regime's crosshairs. The FCC has probed whether the program has violated so-called equal time election laws following the appearance of political figures, launching its investigation after James Tallarico, the Democratic Senate candidate from Texas, appeared on the show in February. This also explains why they had JD Vance on the show, and they just had Marjorie Taylor Greene as a guest co-host. So, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to toe the line and play the game because the FCC is trying this bullshit. But mind you, does the conservative side usually have? Do they invite Democrats on? Do they invite Democratic socialists or even the centrist Zionist ones? Do they invite any of them on their conglomerates? I mean, we already know y'all have an agenda whenever the Democrats come up on y'all show. Anyway, I have seen Ro Khanna go on places like Fox News, and he goes on CNN and he debates with some of the conservative folks and this, that, and the other. And we've also seen Alan Mockler. He's been on CNN and a roundtable with, some of the conservatives, including that moron Scott Jennings. But do they kind of do the same thing, or is it just that y'all mad at the Democrats for not having conservatives on? The conservatives can come on, but the fact of the matter is y'all don't get to, you don't get to control the narrative. You don't get to come on and try to push this certain agenda without the pushback, which is what other people will give you. They won't push back on some of the bullshit you say, which is why they like going on faux news and all these other places. But when you come on The View, as you saw JD Vance did last week, when he was coming on and saying certain things, Whoopi Goldberg called him out on certain stuff. You had Anna Navarro stay with her knee on his neck, as did Joy Behar and Sonny Hostin. They came in with the receipts. Alyssa sat there like a fucking schoolgirl when she got to meet one of her childhood heroes. That's the way she was acting. And don't even get me started on Sarah Haynes. I can't deal with that ditz. But anyway, so where was I? Now that I went on that little rant. Okay, so then they went on to say spots tied to the debate over The View will run during a commercial break within the hour of the show. Messages from Disney related to the licenses of its in-air stations will air across all day parts of New York WABC, Los Angeles KABC, Chicago's WLS, Philadelphia's WPVI, Houston's KTRK, San Francisco's KGO, Raleigh-Durham, and those are both North Carolina, in case y'all didn't know that, WTVD, and Fresno, which is in California, KFSN. Now, Disney will also tap the digital sites of the ABC network and The View. One of the ads tells viewers that The View has welcomed your favorite guests. Well, I don't even need to tell y'all. First of all, we got the clip. So I'm going to play y'all the clip. Because look, I moved on up. I finally got YouTube Premium. I got tired of them damn ads. So we're going to play this clip and we're going to go back and we're going to talk. Please hold.
I had this idea for a show. Different women, different points of view.
The View has welcomed your favorite guests and covered the issues you care about for nearly 30 years. Now, the FCC wants to control who is allowed to appear on the show. Viewers, use your voice. Scan this QR code. You have until July 6th.
So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there for a minute so that way y'all can scan that QR code if y'all want to, partake in the situation. And of course, I'm gonna clip this and make it as a separate segment. So it's like, yeah, use the QR code, use your voice, and say it out there. As somebody who works in media, who has the ability, and thank you, YouTube, that we all have a place that we can speak our mind and talk about all the things, even if there's certain things that The View can't really speak about because of who's their boss and this, that, and the other. They can't really get into the political things. One of the things I will say about The View is that, people have a right to be able to have a different opinion and to say things and to criticize regimes when they need to be criticized. And the fact that we have these wannabe totalitarians, these wannabe authoritarians who can't even do that right, a bunch of damn village idiots running this country, and then you got all these people behind the scenes. And you know what I've noticed with this current regime? Y'all have exposed a lot of these millionaires, well, not even millionaires, a lot of these billionaires, a lot of these business owners, a lot of these oligarchs as people who have thin skin, who are very weak and stupid. Like, how y'all are businessmen, but y'all got to be the dumbest fucking businessmen that I've ever witnessed. because of how y'all present yourselves in a lot of ways. So, um, I'm really, even if I don't agree with how the View does things at times in regards of some of the topics and how they could be a little Zionistic in a lot of the things that they talk about at times, especially that damn Sarah and all of them, and trying to make it seem like that Muslims in so many ways are like the most evil people, whatever. Like there's certain things that when they talk about, especially when they was talking about Zoran and stuff, even though he has been on y'all show, and how y'all went hard on him about things, but then y'all have had many a Zionists on y'all show, and y'all don't keep that same energy when it comes to you interviewing some of them when they come up on there. Other than that, and some of it's like, I don't feel like y'all go a little deep enough when it comes to the political stuff, but I know y'all do what y'all do with what y'all can. They should be able to have a right saying what it is that they need to say. So they also went on to say the messaging and tactics are reminiscent of what a company like Disney might do, and in some cases has done, if it were embroiled in a contract dispute with one of the distributors and wanted to reach some of the people who might suffer adverse effects the most. Disney will press viewers to make their voices heard by leaving a comment with the FCC online. And here's the thing, you know what? People have a right to be heard. This is a show that people love watching. I know people of a certain age, like my parents, love watching The View. And so if y'all want y'all voices heard, definitely let them know that at the end of the day, y'all act like y'all run shit, but it's really the people. If it wasn't for the people at home watching these shows, y'all might have nothing to promote. Y'all wouldn't be making the money that y'all make. And it seems like a lot of these companies forget that. And so if Brendan Carr want to sit around bending the knee and eating the shit out of Trump's diaper, you go ahead and do that. But for the rest of us, we have a right to protest, and the right, freedom of speech is still a thing in this country. What's left of it, last I checked. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the FCC? Well, the View fighting the FCC for the ability to just speak on whatever topics they want to talk about and have a right to criticize Trump on a lot of what he's doing, and they should not be penalized or punished for having a difference of opinion. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know your overall thoughts on this story in the comments down below.